Welcome back. We're continuing our series on the big five of personality types and different domains that can help us understand the motives of where that comes from on those different domains and be more predictive in how a person, particularly ourselves, are likely to respond in the future because of our preference in different domains. Today we're looking at conscientiousness, which, if you remember from the introduction, is seeing a problem and acting to fix it, improving our environment and being diligent and putting forth our energy to do that. Now, as I mentioned in the introduction, the first four of the five in the big five have a positive flavor to them. Neuroticism, not so much so. And there might seem to be some overlap, and so let's go over just a very brief definition of each before we go into some details about conscientiousness. You may remember that openness concerns our inner receptivity to new experiences or new people or ideas. Conscientiousness, however, concerns our external action to improve our environment. Extroversion concerns our internal energy. Agreeableness concerns our external relationships. And neuroticism concerns both our inner and our external self-control. And again, each domain links a person to environment and addresses motivation. Now, all of the different aspects of personality, each of the five domains, have particular relevance to different situations. For example, conscientiousness and neuroticism are the best predictors of job performance. And that might make some sense. Conscientiousness is about wanting to and acting upon our environment to make changes. Neuroticism is an emotional reactivity to stress. And so although high neuroticism is not a good predictor of good job performance, somebody who has little emotional self-control is likely to be unpredictable and unreliable and have sporadic behavior in their job performance. So high conscientiousness can result in high work performance, but high neuroticism can also almost definitely result in poor work performance. But both are indicators. The polar disposition of conscientiousness is being casual. Now again, some studies and some presentations of the Big Five show the polar opposites as pejorative or negative. I don't think that's necessarily true, because there are situations where it would be more helpful to be casual. You've probably been around somebody that's a workaholic, and they're that way in the job or in the office, they're that way at home, they're that way on vacation, they're that way all the time, and the people around them can't ever rest because they don't ever rest. So there's a place to be very conscientious, but there can be a place to be casual too. Now, you've probably had lunch with somebody and you agreed no shop talk while we're having lunch, but the first thing that comes up is shop talk. So the opposite of conscientiousness is not laziness, it's not disorganization, but it's being casual, which is also important. Conscientiousness will manifest in a spectrum of actions, broadly and deeply. For example, competence, order, duty, productivity, self-discipline, determination, etc., etc. Just as openness shows a broad spectrum in experiences, conscientiousness shows a broad spectrum in action. And there are some benefits and some challenges to people who are very high in conscientiousness. For example, they may have a commitment to detail and productivity that equals more reliability, and that's certainly a great thing at work and even at home too. They may have a consistently higher quality of effort and results, and they may be more likely to volunteer for additional tasks. All those can be good things if you want to get something done. Again, if you want to relax, not so much. And therefore, there are some challenges to people who are very high in conscientiousness. They're more prone to burn out, both to burn out themselves and others. If they are low in openness, they may be inclined to rush decisions for productivity. If they're low in extroversion and agreeableness, they may emphasize tasks over people. So this is beginning to show how all five of the domains are linked together and can't be considered by themselves. How we rate or scale as high or low in any of them often affects how we scale in others. And the recommendation, just as in openness, is the same. Measure the need for your conscientiousness by your fit to your immediate environment. It's not going to be the same needs for conscientiousness at home on the weekends as it is on work Monday morning or as it is on Saturday with a group of friends on the softball field or what have you. Again, the big five is about helping to fit a person in an environment in ways that are helpful and honorable. Hope that makes sense and hope that is helpful. And I hope to see you next time as we look at the next of the big five, which is extroversion. See you then.